Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Monday night after the Magharib Salat, Monday, the 27th of Rabi'ul Awwal 1444, the English date being 24th of October 2022. This Majlis took place at Madrasa Baytul Quran Al Kareem at Qamar, Mehwa, Alahbadi, India. Hazrat Wala starts off by quoting Akrimu Hamalat al-Quran فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ أَكْرَمَهُمْ أَكْرَمَنِي. Honor the bearers of the Quran, for whosoever honors them has actually honored me. Now, many can fall into this category: the Huffaz, the Ulama, the Qurra, and whoever else attaches himself to the Quran will also be in this category. Now, the Quran is great. So, whoever is the bearer of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attaches greatness to that person. So, a person may also be just sitting in the maktab, where basic knowledge is imparted. He will also be in this category. One who is teaching the tafsir of the Quran will also be in this category. Allah Ta'ala keep us in this circle and in this category. You know, if we have to say, then most definitely this is the golden chain, silsilatu zahab. So every person should make an effort that he is in the circle and in amongst this group. It is not necessary that every person is a hafid and every person is an alim. However, at least to have ta'alluq and muhabbat, because this is the promise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we should keep the importance and the greatness of the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our heart. And these people, the students and the teachers, they are not less than us. Most definitely, they are much greater than us. This is how we should be thinking. Students are learning, and the parents have brought them here. You know, जब ज़माना सीम और ज़र जमा करने का हो जाए, when the age and the era is of that every person is just accumulating wealth and riches, then at that time, such a crucial time and a challenging time on the ummah, if somebody makes tawajjuh to the Quran Majid, then there is a great station and a great stage for such a person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us turn our attention towards the teaching, the learning, association with the Quran. Now you have dunyawi ulum also, and there you would also find which is the highest or the middle or even lower. Similarly, in the you would have dini ilm. So a person also, he chooses, let me choose this type of knowledge or that type of knowledge, etc. Now Imam Ghazali has written that the importance or the greatness of the knowledge will be seen according to its benefit. So when we look at the deeni benefit, the deen knowledge, The greatest benefit lies in that, therefore, the ilm of the deen also would be then the greatest. You would also find this year, look at a person who wants to study engineering. Now, in engineering also, you will have so many different categories of engineering, and then the student then chooses. Why? Because by studying that, he may get a job in America. So he will he will learn that particular department of the engineering because the benefits there are the most. So Quran and Hadith has the greatest honor because it is the highest. And how do we also calculate this here? It is because its benefit is the most. Now we just take a simple example quickly. Alif, Lam, Mim. Mere recitation of that will accrue and accumulate 30 hasana and 30 nakis. Hazrat Shaykh al-Hadith, have a look at it. He has written that he says that Alif, Lam, Mim is 90 rewards. He calculates it this way. He says Alif is 3 letters. Alif, Lam and Fa. Lam is 3 letters. Lam, Alif and Mim. And Mim is 3 letters. Mim, Ya and Mim. Therefore he counts 9 letters, due to which our sum total would come to 90 hasana for merely saying Alif, Lam, Mim. So, can there be something greater than this here? That mere recitation of just a few letters brings such great rewards in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, regarding other people, they would dig so much, the amount of a mountain, and they would not even achieve the amount of an atom. And this ummah is such that they would hit their spade or their pick just maybe once or strike it just twice, and they would find a gold mine. This is the example of this ummah. So Imam Ghazali says that you have to look at the reward in which lies the greatest benefit and the greatest reward. That would be the highest type of knowledge. Just now you people were discussing and you were saying that certain student has learnt very well. So what is this? It is help from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala gives capacity and capability. Thereafter a person then memorizes the Quran. Hazrat Shah Wasiullah has mentioned that we have not shown, or we have made less, the honor and the greatness of the Quran in our hearts, due to which our honor has become less. And he would quote the ayat of the Quran in Majid. فَنَبَذُوهُ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ. They took the Quran and put it behind themselves. They threw it behind themselves. They neglected it. They did not pay attention to it. Now, Hazrat Shaykh al-Hind, Asir Malta, the prisoner of Malta, when he came out from prison, when he was released by the British, and at that time he called his students. Now who were his students? Hazrat Mohammad Madni, Hazrat Maulana Shabir Ahmad Usmani, and the list goes on. Hazrat Tanvi could have even been there. Now Hazrat Wala is saying, I heard this incident from Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, and Qari Tayyib Sahab has also made mention of it. So he says that when I was in jail, I thought very deeply. And nevertheless, when I've come out now and I'm meeting you people, I want to share 2 things with you. One is that, what did I think about in prison? Was that I will come out and tell the people that they need to put more attention to the Quran Majid. Quran Pak ki taraf tawajjuh dilaunga. And the second portion, or the second part that I wanted to share with you, which was opened up to me in the dark cells of the prison, was that Baham ittifaq or ittihad bayan karunga. I will speak about unity amongst the Muslims. So it is obvious some great, special type, khas hal, spiritual state must have overwhelmed him for him to come out and restrict all of it to these 2 points. Now, what can I tell you, people? Maybe we can say there is some amount of attention towards the Quran Majid. However, regarding ittifaq, ittihad, unity, I don't see anything happening in that regard. People have not turned their attention to it. Rather, what has come into people? It is the shiddat and this harshness and a type of an extremism has come into people. So a person who honors the Quran or the bearers of the Quran, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor him as well. Now see, these children made mehnat, and then I see they have come out with outstanding results in the first position. Similarly, they made mehnat and they achieved this. But from this very young age, these students are here in front of us, if they pay attention to rectifying their character, then that will also be achieved. And in this time, if they would stay away from abhorrent character, then they would become successful. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say, that it should not be such that somebody comes here to this institute and to this idara of ours, and then bad type of traits and characteristics come into him here. So he used to alert us on this here a lot. Quite simply, I'll say to you, don't speak lies. Because a mu'min will do whatever he does, but he will never speak lies. So speak about how terrible a sin speaking lies is, and then stay away from that. Similarly, a theft and stealing and the harms of it, and how terrible a thing it is in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, from this young age, if we do not pay attention to all these type of evil characteristics and traits, then what would happen? These things would become entrenched in us. There was a child, a young person, who got caught stealing. Nevertheless, eventually he was summoned, and then at that time he was going to be punished. Maybe his hands were going to be amputated, or maybe he was going to be executed, meaning it went on too far and the last time came. But nevertheless, a Shami alim from Sham or Misr, speaks about this year, what is happening in his surroundings. And he gives the whole incident. He says at that time when this youngster was summoned in front of everyone and people gathered, and he was going to now be punished. And at that time, he starts speaking ill and saying terrible things about his mother. So people were surprised and they said, but what type of a person are you? At such a crucial and a challenging time, people would cry for their mothers. People would say, if only my mother knows what's happening to me, she would be so hurt and so sad. You doing the opposite, you speaking ill about your mother. So he says, no, let me tell you what's it about. When I was a young child, then I would steal eggs from the yards of our neighbors and I would bring it to my mother. And at that time, my mother, मेरी माँ तो बुलबुल की तरह चहचहाती थी. She would sing like a nightingale. She would praise me. Oh, my son done this today. He brought this today. I'm so happy he stole this today or that today. That was the impression of my mother. If only she stopped me at that time, today this type of a calamity would have not befallen me. So look at the importance of clothes as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, because our clothes is on our outward, but most definitely it touches and has an impression on our inside, and the inside also has an impression on the outside. So Allah ta'ala correct both of these for us, the zahir, the external, and the batin, the internal. You know, we had Maulana Kifayatullah. He was there in Gujarat and he was going to establish a madrasa, but people did not want him or allow him to do that. Nevertheless, his sati, Yunus Jawanpuri, was there, and at that time I was coming for the khanka, etc. So nevertheless, people started seeing that I was in favor of Maulana Kifayatullah, and due to which then they gave him that permission. Nevertheless, he actually went to our Samdi, our relatives, my son's in-laws, and what did he say? That it was Qari Waliullah, famous Imam in Bombay, and he went to him and he said to him that if Uzzaman wasn't there, today this madrasa would have not been established. So today people are worried about this and that and the other. They say, but there are other madrasas. What is the need? Rather, every community, every mahalla and locality should most definitely have a madrasa. The madrasa has many benefits that comes with it. Rather, in the old days, every home was a maktab. Why? The parents took it upon themselves to teach their own children fundamental and basic ta'aleem of the deen. Now look at the Khandan and the family of Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia. Look at the tarbiyat and the piety of his mother, his aunt, and so many of the other women that were there. So what I'm saying in short is that from this young age already, we should start and try and progress. Now look at the hadith in which Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions that at the age of 7, command your children to read salat. And then at the age of 10, then you should beat them. And then something else also. Now Allama Shami mentions this here so passionately and with so much of enthusiasm. He says that look at Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said that at the age of 10, beat them. And also he mentioned one other thing in the hadith which we don't speak about today, is that separate their beds, separate their sleeping places. Allahu Akbar. And you can understand the importance of this here today. Now, by means of namaz, something of the zahir was mentioned, and by means of separation of sleeping places, it was to correct or protect the batin as well. So here the children have made a lot of effort, due to which this has become so famous. But also I want to say that they must make an effort on their akhlaq. So, they say, ek man ilm rak, dah man akal bayad. You need for one measure, For 1 kilo, for one load of knowledge, you need 10 measures of intelligence and brains. And then Hazrat Wala says that I add this as well to it, that for 10 measures and 10 portions or 10 bags of brain and intelligence that you have, for that you need 100 portions of adab. So, ba adab, ba nasib, be adab, be nasib. The one who has adab and respect, he would return with a great portion. He will be the fortunate one. And the one who has no respect will have nothing in the end of the day. He will return empty handed. Nevertheless, I was just going to say something very, very brief. I was feeling some type of weakness and in my nature, etc. But nevertheless, whatever I said now, I think that would be sufficient. And if you people like that, and if you understand it and appreciate it, you will make amal on it. It brings happiness. Rather, this madrasa here, you know, how we speak and we say, this madrasa of ours is on the other side of Jamna. Jamna par karke, ye madrasa hai hamara. So, dua kijiye, make dua for this little madrasa here, this maktab that we have, that it will continue and it will increase. And in time to come, it will become a Darul Ulum. In fact, people even mentioned about this year that there's so much of sukoon. Rather, the khanqa, instead of having it at the other madrasas, we should let it run from here. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and hidayat of turning our attention to this. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala complete and fulfill our goals and our maqasid and make it easy for us. You people also make dua that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us success in our goals and in our ambitions, and Allah Ta'ala accept this little of ours, because if that is accepted, then in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala it will be great. And Alhamdulillah, there is great progress. But more than that, I see the community people, the townsfolk that have also gathered here. Allah Ta'ala give them ikhlas and sincerity. But if you people come and go, this will be a means of encouragement and support to our students that are staying here and learning. It will increase them, it will improve them, it will take them from strength to strength. Now Hazrat Tanvi also used to come here. Now back in the day, in the initial days, I used to come here. And I can say that I actually made mashq of giving bayan here. I can say that there is no house except that I must have given a bayan in that particular house. Now, the mere fact that Hazrat Tanvi used to come here, that is enough for us to understand about the importance of this place. Nevertheless, Allah Ta'ala inspire us. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ بِحُرْمَةِ سَيِّدِ النَّبِيِّ الْكَرِيمِ صلى الله عليه وسلم.